Here are some of the most surprising things people have found in thrift stores. First up, it's a VHS tape mystery. This old cassette was labeled a surprise, along with a kind of creepy smiley face. A 33-year-old computer programmer didn't know what was on the tape when he spied it at a thrift store.
I just, threw it in the bag of stuff I was buying just to see what it was.
He taped himself putting the tape into his VCR. Remember VCRs? Initially, he got static, a bit like the horror film The Ring. In that film, if you play a cursed VHS tape, you die in a week.
7 days.
You're thinking, what could be on this tape?
Yeah, I had no idea.
So what great mystery was revealed?
If you pop it into the VCR, what do you see?
And I'm like, really? It's this?
He got rickrolled. The sweet, sweet sound of Rick Astley.
I was just shocked.
What do you say to the person who made the tape?
I'd say that was a very good joke. I'm amazed.
Our next surprising find, a cassette tape of Michael Jackson's Bad. But this one appears to have been autographed by Jackson himself.
We just opened it up and realized that it was signed.
Amber and Mike Hernan bought the tape for $25 at the Heavenly Treasures thrift store in North Carolina. They were going to add the tape to their 80s collectible shelf at home. A signed copy makes their shelf just that more interesting and valuable. A Michael Jackson autograph might be worth thousands of dollars, but they didn't care.
Having a dollar value on it kind of leads to selling it, which we don't want to do.
Right, we're definitely not interested in selling it.
Here's another story of unlikely thrift store treasure.
It's the dream of every thrift store shopper, paying peanuts for an item that turns out to be fabulously valuable. That's exactly what happened to one guy when he walked into a thrift store and bought an old box of photos for only $2.
Randy was browsing in a thrift store in Fresno, California, when he bought a box of old photos and took it home. He got quite a surprise.
I'm looking then with a little magnifying glass. I went, oh my, this guy, if it doesn't look like it's Billy the Kid.
Billy the Kid was one of the most notorious outlaws of the Wild West.
This truly is like a Twilight Zone photograph.
It appears the Kid is surrounded by his gang at a New Mexico wedding in 1878. A National Geographic documentary, Billy the Kid: New Evidence, chronicled efforts to authenticate the photo. Questions linger about its authenticity, but if it's real, it could be worth millions. And this thrift store find was worth thousands, at least cash on the Barrelhead.
So I came in on Friday morning at 7 a.m. and the assistant manager was like, okay, here's what happened.
A woman had accidentally donated a shirt to the Goodwill, not realizing it had $8,000 in it. The woman's husband had been using the old shirt as a hiding spot. He said he'd been saving the money to take his wife on a surprise trip to Italy. The couple called the store. Caitlin's boss asked her to search through the donation bin, and sure enough,
There was just the shirts right there and the money in the pocket.
Phew! And you can't put a price on cuteness. A woman in Chattanooga, Tennessee was driving past a Goodwill store when she noticed a cardboard box. It was taped shut, but it was moving. When she stopped to open the box, labeled stuffed animals, she found 3 puppies inside. The Labrador puppies needed some help, so they were brought to an animal center. They quickly recovered.
It's 1 week ago today that we got these guys.
Oh. This is Greta Garbo. This is Marilyn Monroe. And Betty Davis is over there.
Hey, Betty. Hey, Betty.
But the most surprising thrift store find may have been this, an urn that once contained the cremated remains of an Arizona man. Hidden for who knows how long inside a dresser dropped off at a thrift store. An urn that once housed the ashes of Robert Fanning Jr. The 27-year-old took his life nearly 30 years ago in Arizona. But it was in Florida where Brittany Gaither made the odd yet disheartening find during a shopping trip.
Overwhelming, to be honest with you. Like, I have my mother's ashes are in my, in an urn in my home. So it was really, to me, like an, oh my gosh. Immediately I thought somebody has to be missing these.
She turned to Facebook in a desperate plea to find the man's family. Within 24 hours, she made contact with Robert's brother, Jody.
I had extremely mixed emotions. I was ecstatic that somebody had taken the time and the effort to find me. I was sad because my brother's urn was in a thrift store in an abandoned dresser.
So Brittany went to the post office and mailed the urn back to Arizona where it belongs. But when Jody opened the box, his late brother's ashes weren't inside.
I'm going to go off the premise and pray and hope that the ashes were deposited on the San Francisco peaks like he had originally asked.
Robert's wife, Jody explains, was responsible for the ashes. After his death, she moved around from state to state, winding up in Florida, where the urn made its way into Brittany's hands.
Apparently during a move, they were left somewhere, I'm guessing in the drawer.
The urn will now be handed off to Robert's father, so this family can have some closure 28 years later.
And I just want to say thank you so much to Brittany and the others that went out of their way to help us. You'll never know what you've given back to my family, that it's no longer lost. It's home where it belongs.
This is InsideEdition.com.